Morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Day 2 of SiGMA. We have a very interesting topic to discuss today with my friend here, Segev of Segev LLP, which is, are cryptocasinos a danger to the industry's integrity? But I would like to start by asking the audience this simple question, actually. By show of hands, what do you guys think? Do you think cryptocasinos, as they are today, are they bad or good for the industry? So show of hands if you think they are bad for the industry today. Oh, mostly people think they are good. I guess we can go to the next panel then. But I want to start with a little story today as well. I was speaking with a couple of friends of mine a couple of weeks ago, and we discussed which operator in the States will be the biggest operator. Is it going to be FanDuel that wins the competition? Is it DraftKings, BetMGM? And then someone in the group, I don't want to name who, but someone said, no, the biggest operator in the United States in 2 years' time will be Stake. And I think that's quite eye-opening of where we are today. But I would like to start around today just by asking you, can you kind of steelman the argument, both yes or no, if the crypto casinos, as they look today, are a danger to the industry's integrity? So can you steelman both sides of the coin?
Sure, yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for sticking around over lunch. I appreciate it. Before I get into the question, I just want to do a small introduction so that you understand how these opinions are formed. So I'm a lawyer. I've been practicing for 20 years. A huge part of my practice, maybe 90%, is gaming and betting. But I also do a lot of crypto work. I opened up my first crypto file in 2012. And when you think about the first Bitcoin being traded in 2009, we got into the space just 3 years later. We've worked with brokers, wallets, token projects, crypto casinos, all manner of stakeholders in the industry. And what I've seen my clients go through is basically going to inform some of these opinions here. So is crypto bad for the industry? I think the question is similar to, is water bad for the earth? It's here. Crypto is here. There's an interesting Chainalysis report that came out that said that there's over 70 unregulated crypto casinos already in operation. As of April this year, they already did $7 billion of business. They're expected to do more than $20 billion of business. So is it bad for the industry? Is it good for the industry? I think we're asking the wrong question. It's unavoidable, right? And I like to say that you can't control innovation. You can't control product innovation. You can't control product growth, product trends. But what you can do is you can regulate it and you can protect the public interest. So maybe the better question is an unregulated crypto casino industry bad for the industry? And yeah, the answer is yes. Of course it is, right? And that's my concern. Is we've got so many unregulated crypto casinos out there that are operating without proper oversight, and we know that what that could lead to. So that's sort of my high-level answer: is no, crypto's not bad for the industry. It's unavoidable. It's here. We just need to regulate it.
Right. I want to just lift up the FTX saga here that unfolded last week. One of the biggest crypto exchanges in the world fell apart in a matter of days, essentially. And I suppose you can kind of trace that back to lack of regulation overall in the crypto space. And similarly, on the crypto casino side, predominantly operating in an unregulated environment. Do you think in the next coming years we'll see more regulation in the crypto casino space?
Yeah, I think we're already seeing it. I think the earliest trend in this space was in cashless payments. And so, especially in the United States, there's been a slow adoption of cashless payments technologies. And I think that that's kind of gotten the regulator a bit more accustomed to different fintech products. And notably, Wyoming has already adopted a law that has allowed sportsbooks to accept crypto. We've seen that happen now in Colorado and Virginia, and in the US, we've seen a federal act to start regulating crypto. So we're moving in that direction. I think the distinction is that in all those regimes, crypto is being treated as a means of exchange of value. So what I mean by that is I can't actually place a bet with crypto, and I can't make a withdrawal of winnings, or I can't withdraw my account in crypto. The only thing I can do is make a deposit in crypto that needs to be exchanged into fiat, and then I can bet in fiat, and then when I make a withdrawal, it's in fiat. But you have to crawl before you run, and I think that's a good first step, and I think it's just a matter of time before other states adopt. Your stake comment, I think, is really interesting. So first of all, I'm Canadian, and I think the reason Stake is going to be the biggest gaming company in the world is because my fellow Canadian Drake is their brand ambassador, and there's no stopping him. Other than that, I think Stake has been really clever. So they just got registration with Ontario, and they're moving their brand into Ontario. They're doing it in a very clever way. Ontario currently doesn't allow any crypto deposits. They have a zero crypto approach. But Stake went into market with their existing product and just stripped the crypto layer out of it. And they're going to be building market share and brand recognition. And I think they're going to kill it because they have experience working with crypto, and they've developed a reputation of trust and reliability thus far. Hopefully, they're going to maintain that with crypto. And so when the regulators decide to turn that on, I think Stake is going to be possibly first in line there.
Yeah, brilliant. And I mean, if we look at all the tier 1 operators, both in North America and on the European side, none of the tier 1 operators have adopted crypto yet, obviously for regulatory reasons. How far away do you think we are from certain regulators adopting this technology? What do you think are the next steps in order for the tier 1s to be able to adopt?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd say that those examples that I gave you in the United States, I mean, those are tier 1 regulators. The United States takes their gaming regulatory environment very serious, and I think that they can set a real trend. The DGE in New Jersey, in particular, has declined to move in that direction, and I think that that's going to slow the trend down. But I think there's clearly a public demand for crypto, and people want to do something with their crypto. I think we're also going to see some pressure coming from other areas of the industry. So in particular, what I'm seeing within my client group is a discussion around tier 1 operators partnering with tier 1 brokerages like Coinbase and using the Coinbase wallet technology in partnership with the tier 1 operator wallet technology. So the thinking being that, first of all, Coinbase has a really good reputation. In particular, they've got a lot of experience around custodianship services. They've got great cold wallet technology, and leveraging that trust and that tech stack, so to speak, to access Coinbase customers to make deposits. Now, I think the real untapped potential is the fact that most people who hold crypto, they do exactly that. All they do is hold it. And so you have all this trapped value not really doing anything. And I think there's many operators who are seeing that as probably some value that you can unlock. Yeah. That if I can grab that Coinbase customer base, then I'm unlocking a funded wallet, right? That's ready to start betting on my products. Yeah. And so I think we're going to see some industry pressure now coming to bear on the regulators. And when I say pressure, I mean discussions. Yeah. And notably, the regulators are really open to having these discussions. We saw that with the sandbox in Malta. I know that the Ontario regulator in my backyard is interested to have a discussion, both iGaming Ontario and the AGCO, and the various US regulators too. They want to hear from fintech companies. They want to hear from operators.
Yep. I mean, again, going back to the FTX saga here of last week, which kind of sent ripples and a huge shockwave to the crypto industry at large. Can you talk a little bit more about, first of all, what happened with FTX? Let's go into that saga a bit. It's impossible, I think, to have a crypto panel without talking about FTX of last week? And then secondly as well, do you think that this setback in the crypto industry that's almost been compared to the Lehman Brothers collapse in 28, do you think it will have ripple effects to how regulators look at crypto in the gaming industry as well?
Yeah, so I'll take the second part of the question first, because it's the easier one. The answer is yes. I think it has a negative impact on the industry. So let's address what happened. So at a high level, FTX was, by some accounts, the second largest crypto brokerage in the world. And they had a proprietary token called FTT. And there was a report conducted by CoinDesk, which is an industry investigative news outlet, that had looked at FTX's balance sheet, and they noticed that most of the most of the assets booked on the balance sheet were FTT coins. That basically, FTX was its own central bank, so to speak. And they'd issued some concern around the health of the balance sheet. Now, at the same time, Binance, which is the largest exchange in the world and is actually owned by a Canadian, a Chinese Canadian, I have to represent. They held several $1 billion of FTT coin, and on reading the report, it raised some concerns, and they decided to divest completely of their FTT position, and I think they divested something like $2.6 billion. And that created, obviously, some concern in the markets, and essentially what we saw was a run on the bank. Now, because there was this run on the bank, FTX had decided to stop all customer withdrawals from their exchange. So they locked all the accounts, which created even greater concern. The FTT coin had traded at a high of $78. I think it's trading just below $3 right now. If anyone's on their phone, they could correct me if I'm wrong, but it's probably plummeting every second right now. And to add to the drama, Binance had come in and commenced the discussions with FTX to bail them out. So, I mean, your Lehman's collapse analogy is really apt. And now we're talking about bailouts. And so what happened was Binance had commenced due diligence, and within a period of, I believe, 78 hours, had decided to pull out of discussions with FTX and said, no, we're not bailing you out, not interested, which further added to the appearance of toxicity in the market. Something's really wrong here. So Sam Bankman-Fried, who's the former CEO of FTX, 30 years old, had resigned. But I think what's telling about the industry is that when Binance had backed out, SBF, as he's known, Sam Bankman-Fried, had tweeted to Mr. Zhao, who's the CEO of Binance, well played, you won this round. Yeah. Which I think is so arrogant. I mean, this is not a game, we're talking losses in excess of $400 million. Yeah.
And the fact that FTX as a company was just committing fraud in the first place. It was
totally, yeah. So speaking of the fraud, thank you. In subsequent investigations, there's now a strong likelihood, we're still in the allegation stage, but there is a strong likelihood that they've been using customer deposits to conduct their own trading. We're all in the casino business, and so we all understand that you always segregate player deposits, right? We can remember the days of full tilt poker where that was part of their undoing, right? They weren't properly segregating player deposits, and that's 101 in our industry. Yep. So they weren't doing that. Anyway, to answer your question, is it bad for the industry? Is it going to negatively impact a regulator's assessment of adopting crypto in casinos? Yes, I think so, right? But I think on the other side of the coin, what it does is it should convince the regulators that we need strong regulations, right? Yeah. We need independent auditing on a regular basis. We need segregated bank accounts. They need to work with the various financial services authorities to make sure that any brokerage or wallet that's working with an operator is properly regulated by an FSA. Yep. We need more cooperation between our financial services authorities and our gaming regulators, because essentially what we're talking about is adopting a new fintech tool. So these two agencies should start working together.
Yeah.
Is it gonna, is this a deal killer? I don't think so, but it'll probably set us back. How long? I don't know, but it will set us back.
Yeah. I would almost make the opposite argument, actually, because back in 2014, when Mt. Gox collapsed, which was the biggest crypto exchange at that time, I think Bitcoin dropped something like 75% at that time. The sentiment was that the show is over, crypto is dead, and it had huge ripple effects at that time that lasted for many, many years. And people are comparing the FTX crash to the Mt. Gox crash at that time, but even on a bigger scale. People are saying the FTX crash is like Mt. Gox on drugs. But actually, Bitcoin only dropped about 15% or so, 15-18% in this week. And what that means to me, perhaps, is that Bitcoin is showing, and crypto in general is showing stability to some extent, that maybe it has reached the point of critical mass where the crypto industry can kind of roll with these punches. And to some extent, we need to weed out these bad actors in order for crypto to flourish again. And maybe that can be a positive thing at the end of the day.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we have to separate, Bitcoin price analysis from the story. If Bitcoin looks like it's holding steady, you can argue that maybe it's a flight to safety from crypto idealists, right? That they're pulling out of the altcoins and moving into Bitcoin instead. That's one idea. I think one reason that FTX is more serious than Mt. Gox is because it's coming on the heels of the Terra Luna scandal, right? And so, and very quickly, right? We just got through Terra Luna, and now we're seeing this, and so that doesn't do a lot of good for public confidence in the market. We need more regulation.
Brilliant. So to summarize the panel today, the question here: are crypto casinos a danger to the industry's integrity? The answer, in short, is essentially, as long as we operate in an unregulated environment, yes, but with more regulation, more clarity, and so on, then it will not damage the industry reputation.
Yeah, that's what I think, and I think critically, it's unavoidable. I mean, crypto casinos are here. People want to gamble in crypto, and there's no stopping it. So you need to protect the public interest.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Ron. Thank you guys for tuning in, and have a fantastic rest of the conference. Thank you.